What's going on, everybody? So in today's video we are going to be learning how to do zooms and pans in chartjs using React.js. So this is what we're going to be making right here. It's a chart, it's a bar chart where we can zoom into and we can pan across to see other data points. And before we do begin, be sure to already have a React app made. If you don't have one, just go ahead and make one, and let's get into this. Alright, so I have my React app made, set up, and if you're wondering why it looks so much more different than a regular React app that just started up, that's because in our previous tutorials we've learned how to import nav bars with the React routing and everything like that. The links to those videos are in the description below. But anyways, that's besides the point. I have this empty file that I made right here called dankmemes.js. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to install our dependencies that we need for our zoom and pan and for chartjs. So that's going to look npm I chartjs-plugin-zoom, and I'm also going to do chartjs, so that'll be react chartjs-2, and let that work its magic. Cool, so we have everything installed. Let's go ahead and import our dependencies into our app. So I'm going to do the first one. That's going to be import all as zoom from React. Let's see here. Well, not React, chart plugin zoom. There we go. And the next one is going to be import curly brace bar. So we're going to be making a bar graph from React chartjs-2. Cool. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a useState variable that's basically going to handle all of our data for our chart, for our bar chart. So I'll just do const, and let's do chart data and set chart data is equal to use state empty object. Alright, so I'm going to start up the app so we don't have to worry about doing it later. And then I can get rid of the terminal so we have a little bit more room to work with. So let that start up in the background. I'm just going to minimize my terminal. And now what we're going to do is we're going to make a function called chart. So const chart. And what this is going to be responsible for is setting our chart data, basically giving it labels, giving it the data we want, changing the background color of our bars, stuff like that. So the first thing we're going to do is create a labels array. And this is basically going to contain my favorite rappers. This is in no particular order. So I'm going to do Eminem, Tupac, let's do Drake, Kendrick Lamar, Dr. Dre, and J. Cole. Alright, so now let's go ahead and set our chart data object, this one right here, to the data that we want. So I'm going to do set chart data, and the first one I'll do is labels data sets, and it'll be an array of objects. So the first one is going to be our label. This is our basically our legend, and I'll just say ratings out of 10 in my opinion. Gotta state that just in case. Data, let's see here, Eminem, I'll give him a 10 out of 10. I'll give Tupac a 7. I'll give Drake a 7. I'll give Kendrick Lamar an 8. Dr. Dre a 9. I'll give J. Cole a 6. I don't really listen to him as much, but he is still pretty good. Actually, let's do 6.5. 6.69. There we go. Alright, so now let's do our background color. Background color. And I'll just, let's do blue. I'll save that. Alright, let's use the use effect and call our chart function into there. So I'll use effect. And let's do chart. And I'll add an empty brace right here. And I'll save that. Alright, before we do continue, I'm just going to go ahead and console log chart data just to make sure that everything is working. Let's see if it works. Go into our inspector. Scroll up a bit. Okay, object, wrong one. Object right here. Alright, so we have our labels and we have our data right there. Cool. And we also have this error. Let's worry about that later, but let's get everything working. Cool, so let's go ahead and make our chart now. So I'm gonna get rid of this console log. We don't need it anymore. I'll make another div tag. And inside of here, I'll make a bar with a self-closing brace. And let's just give it our data for now. Data is equal to chart data. And let's just make sure that it shows up. Cool, okay, we have our data working. And now let's add a little more options to make it look a little bit better, because it looks pretty nasty right now. Alright, let's add our options now. So let's go back into our editor, and right underneath this data, I'm going to do options is equal to double curly brace, and let's do responsive to equal to true. Title, I want to give this a title of text. Top 10 wrappers, and display it to be true. Let's do scales, object, the y-axis, array of objects, and inside of this array of objects, the first thing I'm going to do is ticks, object again, auto skip to be true, max ticks limit to be 10. Let's do begin at 0 to be true, and that covers everything for those ticks. And now let's do our grid bars. I don't want to show any grid bars, so I'll do display false. Cool, so that covers everything we need for our y-axis. Let's worry about our x-axis now. So x-axis, array of objects, and the first one we'll do is grid lines. And let's do display to be false. Oh, I did grid bars here. Whoops, I should have done grid lines. And let's save it. Let's see what it looks like. It should look a little better. No, it does not. Responsive. What's the issue with responsive? Oh, not an equal sign. Whoops. Okay, that should be better. Hopefully it doesn't break. Yay, okay, it didn't break. We got rid of the lines and made it a little bit better. Let's make it a little bit smaller. It's taking up the entire room. I don't like that. I do not like that at all. Alright, so to do that, since we already enabled responsive to be true, inside of this div tag right here, I'm going to do a style, and I'll give it a width of 750 pixels, a height of 750 pixels, margin, let's do margin left, auto, and margin right, auto as well. Let's see if it looks a little bit smaller. Should be smaller and in the middle, smaller and in the middle. Yay. Okay, cool. Now let's go ahead and implement our zoom effect and our pan effect. Alright, so to do that, we're going to go into our code editor, and at the very bottom before our options ends right here, I'm going to add a pan, and I'm going to do enabled to be true. So this is going to enable our pan to basically work. And the next one, I'm going to do mode XY. So basically allow the pan to work in both X and Y axes. And the next one we'll do is speed. I'll set that to 10. Speed is basically going to dictate how fast or how easily you can pan across the chart. So the higher the number, the faster it'll be, the more sensitive it'll be. The lower the number, the less sensitive or the slower it'll be. And the next one is going to be zoom. And I'll enable this to be true as well. We'll do drag to be false. And mode XY. Same thing with the mode here as well. This is going to allow you to zoom in both X and Y direction. Now if you want to just do only X direction, you just only put X here. Or if you want to pan in only the Y direction, you would only put Y in here. Cool. So the next one is going to be range min. I'll set it to, whoops, I need a comma. Okay, I have a comma. And I'll do X at 0 and Y to be 0 as well. Let's add a colon, semicolon. And the next one, range max. I'll set X to be 10 and Y to be 15. So range min and range max can be a little bit confusing, but they don't have to be. They're only responsible for making sure that when you're zooming out, you can only zoom out to a maximum number that you set it at. So for example, if you have range max right here, and I set it at y is equal to 15, so the y-axis is 15, refresh the page, I can only zoom out to a maximum of 15, and that's all it would let me do. But let's say if I wanted to do, let's go back into your app. Let's say if I wanted to do 25. Now it'll let me go all the way up to 25, and it stops me right there. It doesn't let me go any further. Alright, cool. So that covers everything I have for zooming and panning for Chart.js. Let's, before I end the video, I'm going to make a quick function that's going to change every single one of these colors to be different for the bars, because I don't like having them all the same. It confuses me a little bit. I don't like that. Anyways, so what I'm going to do is to get random colors is equal to, we'll give it a parameter of num of bars, basically number of bars that we have in our chart. And let's do variable, no, not variable, whoops. Let's do const letters is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, A, B, C, D, E, F, dot split. Alright, and let colors is equal to an empty array. And I'll make a for loop, let I is equal to 0, I is less than num of bars, I plus plus, and we're going to make a inner for loop. So before we do that, let's do const color is equal to hexadecimal, well not hexa, hashtag, whoops, and for let k is equal to 0, k is less than 6, k plus plus, and color plus equal letters math.floor math.random. If you're wondering how I know all this, I did not memorize it. I would never be able to memorize all this. I just did this beforehand. So colors.push color and return colors. Cool. So now let's, using everything, let's go into our background. As opposed to doing blue, let's replace blue with get random colors, and inside of here we'll do labels dot length. Alright, let's hope that works. Get random colors is not defined. What? Oh, whoops, I gotta do const. There we go, now it's a function. Now it should work. Does it work? It does not work. Assignment const variable. Oh, it can't be const, it has to be let color. Okay, now it should work. Hey, there we go. So now if we refresh, we get different colors every time. Nice. Cool, so that covers basically everything. If y'all have any questions, just leave them down below and I'll try and answer them as soon as possible. If y'all enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one.